Eurogamer's 20th favourite game of the year, as voted for by staff and contributors, is Sega's ultra-violent horror romp Condemned 2 Bloodshot. The Tramp Basher scored a brutal 8 out of 10 at review, and did enough to leave its bloody fingerprints all over our judges' joypads.
Enjoy the scenic route, asshole!
Tomb Raider, I actually really enjoyed. When I read my own review now, I realise I might have been a bit whiny.
I still can't really believe that you can't climb on anything that wasn't shaped around a clog.
Tomb Raider Underworld, I have to say, had one of the worst opening hours of any game I've played all year.
Let's get in your head.
I still think it was the right score, and I do think it's a good game.
Or in fact that the significant technical advance in Tomb Raider Underworld seems to involve Lara's tits and water.
I persevered with it, I stuck with it, and once you get to all the temples and the tombs, it's actually, in the most part, pretty good. Let's just forget that bloody level on the ship ever happened.
I do still love Lara, and I do, you know, I'm sure they'll do another one, and I hope they do, and I hope it's even better.
I need Thor's belt to get his hammer, and I need the hammer to kill a god.
I think with Boom Blocks, one of the key things was this was a year when third parties really struggled to get to grips with the Wii, to know what to do with it, to make games that were any good or that made any sense on it. And with EA and Boom Blocks, you got an example of a game that was really high quality, really good fun, but it genuinely appealed to everyone.
And it is actually quite entertaining and original and good fun. Unlike the worst game of the year, not just for the Wii, but indeed all platforms in the history of video gaming, which would be Golden Balls for the Wii, which I gave the first ever 1 out of 10 I've ever given to. And that 1 point was the fact it kind of did boot up when you turned on the Wii.
I can see why some people absolutely love this game. I can also see why people hate it. When it all comes together, it really is magic. When it all just flows, it's beautiful. It's just really, really great concept, works really, really well. When it doesn't work, it can be just unbelievably frustrating. And to be honest, of all the games I've played this year, it's probably the one where I've come closest to just smashing the joypad into the wall and just tearing my hair out.
Mirror's Edge, I just like kicking the doors down.
I was surprised more people didn't like Spore, really. I probably should have anticipated that when I was reviewing it, and I probably, in hindsight, was a bit more generous with it than I might have been now. But I think the reason for that was that I was more inclined to forgive the fact that certain elements of the gameplay were a bit shonky, just on the basis that the internet made it so great.
Of all of the games on this list that I've actually played, Spore is the one that I would say that I don't really have any idea how good it is. And that's because I sunk all of my time into making creatures, into the creature creator, and not really any into playing the game. And in a way, I think that's a testament to what an amazing piece of software it is.
And I was just running around seeing the most unbelievable things, and I was having fun exploring what other people had done. And that was really eye-opening for me.
Well, my main memory of Spore this year was trying to play the game in Will Wright's offices, while the great man was lying behind me in the corner of the room, prone, with lots of bits of string tied around his face and pinned into the carpet, and little 3D models of Spore creatures balanced precariously on his face. Put me right off my stroke.
Oh, you must be Professor Layton, I presume. It's an honour to make your acquaintance.
Professor Layton, really enjoyed, made me feel quite clever, and it's very pretty and slightly French as well, which are all three of my favourite things.
At number 14, it's Tetsuya Mitsuguchi's Cult Res, reimagined for Xbox Live gamers. Whether you see it as a pulsating masterpiece of digital art or simply just a brilliant shooter, it beat out a perfect 10 out of 10 rhythm at review back in January.
Wrath of the Lich King is the game actually that surprised me most this year. It surprised me when I went to see it at Blizzard for preview. It surprised me again when I went into the beta, and it surprised me again when the live game actually launched.
The other guys are good examples of the genre, but like Warcraft is the genre at the moment.
The quality of the product is just amazing. It's so much better than Burning Crusade, which itself was so much better than the original release of WoW. There's a reason why nobody else can crack Blizzard's market, and that's because they're the best.
I haven't played it, but I'm tempted and scared at the same time. So I don't know, maybe one day. Ollie Welsh, MMO editor, keeps going, you're fooling yourself, you're kidding yourself. And I know Warcraft's that much better, and that's why I'm frightened of it.
I think it's unfair to say that I'm grooming Bertie to get him back into the game. I just think that he really needs to face up to the inevitability that all WoW fans come back. All of them. All of them.
Rock Band 1, fantastic game, but when it comes to drums, it's alright if you live in Abbey Road Studios and you've got 30-foot soundproof walls. But when you're like me and you live in a little, still glamorous studio flat, but with paper-thin walls, you so much as touch those pads after dark and the anti-terror police come around. Rock Band 2, therefore, wonderful. The new drum kit, for me, 2 thumbs up. It passed the middle of the night Oasis test. I sat there banging away and I didn't get a single thump on the wall and I didn't get a single brick through the window. Wonderful.
I actually rate Guitar Hero higher than Rock Band, and there are 2 reasons for that. The first reason is that I love the Killers, and Guitar Hero has Human and Losing Touch, and Rock Band 2 only has Spaceman. And the second reason is that every time Harmonix come over to the UK to do interviews to promote Rock Band, they give it all this sort of stuff about, oh, well, you know, we're not really competing with Guitar Hero. Yes, you are! And in actual fact, I suppose you aren't, in the sense that you fluffed up your pricing and your launch and nobody's bought your game. But in every other sense you are. So stop pretending!
Just missing out on a coveted place in the Eurogamer Top 10, it's Criterion's excellent reinvention of the Burnout series. The fastest, riskiest racer in the West went open world, and then added motorbikes for good measure.
Burnout Paradise. It's one city with infinite possibilities. Go explore.
At number 10 is one of 2 independent titles that crashed the top 10 blockbuster party this year. This physics-based puzzler charmed on PC and Wii on the WiiWare service. But most of all, it charmed contributors from website Rock Paper Shotgun, whose votes ensured a strong position for 2D Boy's title.
You still can't beat the fun of me playing it and swearing when Laura's trying to sing, Chris's girlfriend, and Chris is hammering away on the drums, and it's ridiculous, but funny at the same time.
I wish this had the career mode from Rock Band 2, which is better.
The instruments are much better with Guitar Hero. The guitar, for a start, it's always been better. Even with Rock Band 1, I just used the Guitar Hero guitar because whoever decided that the strum bar shouldn't have a click on it and those buttons, just wrong.
I wish it had the no fail thing from Rock Band 2, which is better.
Living on a Prayer is in there, so I mean that just rounds it up. So I can scream my guts out, and the neighbours still haven't complained. So obviously we're doing something wrong or right. I'm not sure.
I wish it had the graphics and the music store from Rock Band 2, which are better.
But the one thing that really, really pisses me off about Guitar Hero World Tour was the one thing I was most excited about in the first place. When I first went over to Neversoft, saw the game for the very first time, they showed off GH Tunes, they showed off the music studio, and they told us you'll be able to do covers of every song ever made, people will be throwing everything up there, it'll be amazing. And then lo and behold, the game comes out and no, you can't have any covers of anything, the Legal Eagles are there and they rip it down.
And in lots of ways, what I'm saying is I wish it was Rock Band 2. However, I would say that the guitar in Guitar Hero is just so much better than the Rock Band 1. The Rock Band 1 appears to have been designed by a person who doesn't play the game.
Gears 2 really enjoyed despite myself actually. Really didn't like the first one, couldn't quite swallow the irony, but really enjoyed the second one. They've sort of dialed down a lot of that and built up a lot of the good stuff.
Once again, shooters were very popular this year. Obviously I'm not a huge fan of the genre, so I don't know if I could pick a favourite. I do know there was one with like the big men, with the big monsters that you shoot them in the face.
What are we gonna do now?
And Dime goes,
Let's kill all of them.
I didn't expect to be as blown away as I was, but they've improved the game in every single department, and it's just fantastic set piece after fantastic set piece.
And then there was one like the nuclear one, and there was all these monsters, and you got these guns, and then like you see their faces, and you have to shoot them in them.
They're using a giant worm!
it is probably the best moment in gaming this year.
It's the Sylvester Stallone of video games. Loved it.
And I'm sure there was one set, it was either like a nuclear world or it was like a post-apocalyptic American city, or both.
For me, it was the ultimate silly blockbuster action game, and I virtually played it through in one sitting.
Here they come!
I actually bought a new PC specifically to play Left 4 Dead with other people. This is partly because I want to play it with a keyboard and mouse, but also partly because I'm not really allowed to play it with most of my friends on the Xbox 360 now, because I want the achievement for headshotting the witch. When new people come into the game, they hear the witch and they're like, oh, what's that? And I go, yeah, you just go and take her out, just go and take her out. And they go up to her, they pop a few caps, she sort of knocks them over and kills them and sort of leaps all over them, and then I stand next to them and try and headshot her. And unfortunately, everyone seems to have wised up to my trick now, and they don't like to play with me. This is actually not just one, but several of the best two-stick shooters released this year in one go.
I like the mayhem of it. I like it where it swamps you and you can't do anything. You have to try and get out, and you're like going shit, 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 and you're just like a minute away from, a second away from like blowing up, but you somehow manage to get through and your score goes bananas, and then you just try and do it again. And that's what I like about the Waves one, and all the modes are great, and I just thought, I don't know how they're going to make it better, but somehow they did.
The fact that the high scores from your friends are always in the top right is a really good incentive to keep playing. And I think if you check, you'll find that I'm actually higher on the leaderboards in every single game in Kristen. And in some cases, I've taken to actually going around to his house on Saturday, setting a new score, and then going home to give myself an additional challenge.
When I first saw Braid and the little character, I thought it was really disturbing. I thought, that is disgusting.
Whether or not you agree that Braid is a haunting metaphor for the sort of afterbirth of your mother's emotional relationship with a biscuit-flavoured cat, or whatever it was we said it was, it's just a brilliant platform puzzle game.
You know, it's not Mario, is it? It can't be that good.
Braid is very, very clearly genius, an amazing concept, just works. Loved it to bits, but because I'm a bit thick, I still haven't finished it.
I did really enjoy, not as much as Professor Layton because it made me feel more stupid than clever. But yeah, great game, great concept, really nice to see an indie game getting such good recognition.
But I played it and it's really good.
The fact and the time that I realised where you can walk into any scene and you already have all the tools you need to get the puzzle piece from that scene, that was when I realised I was going to finish it and get every piece. And I did. And the music in it is just fantastic as well.
I've been looking forward to Fable 2 for ages because I like rat punching and stuff like that.
I like Fable 2 because Peter Molyneux deserved to make a good game and somehow has.
I really like Dickensian style as well. People going, oh, you're a nutter, mate, and things like that.
It's amazingly easy to sit there and enjoy playing it. And I don't mean that just in the sense that it's easy to play. I mean that it knows how to challenge you without punishing you.
I played a female character. I don't really know why. And I went off all the male inhabitants because I thought, well, they don't really present you with a really nice, a nice person to marry and stuff. So I was like, I don't really want to do that. So I went after the ones that had the bisexual trait. I did have a husband in it, and I went out saving the world. I came back, and he pronounced that he was leaving me. I'm leaving you, and he took kid with him as well. I was like, thanks a lot.
I also like the fact that I simply can't get anywhere in it because I keep going off track and, you know, hoovering up houses and shagging people and generally misbehaving.
Grand Theft Auto 4, absolutely my game of the year by a mile.
I finished it twice. I haven't finished anything else twice this year. And, you know, the fact that you run out of stuff to do after 25 or 30 hours, I understand why that might piss people off because, you know, they've rushed through it and you know, they've maybe done it in a couple of days and then that's it. There's very little left to do in the world. You got 25 or 30 hours of gameplay out of it. What are you moaning about?
Just the world. No one's just come close to creating such a compelling and enjoyable gaming world. I just have so much fun just mucking about, just driving in the car. Stick the car in first person mode. It's at night, it's raining, you've got a tune on your light, just cruising around. For me, that was better than most racing games this year. Absolutely love this game. No question, game of the year.
Get this done, and we'll talk.
Fallout, fantastic. Probably clocked up about 80 hours on it so far, I think. Particularly enjoyed nailing people's heads to the wall with the railway rifle and generally getting lost. It's sort of quite a common occurrence for me. I've got a terrible sense of direction, so I quite like just wandering into the wasteland and having something exciting to do rather than just having to work out what's the quickest way to get back home, as I normally do.
Little Big Planet, look, beautiful, charming game. Voiceover of the year from Stephen Fry as well, what a guy. The controls are a little bit shonky for a platformer, but you know, when I first played this game, I was on the kind of beta version, I was going on the test servers, seeing the beginnings of what people were able to do with the creation side of it. There was already some cool stuff there, but now, you know, several weeks on from when the game actually released, you're really seeing what people are able to produce on there.
There's a million things to say about Little Big Planet because it's such a strange game, such a controversial game. I do wonder why Sony thought that it would sell millions of consoles, but what I don't wonder about is why they thought it was brilliant and why they thought it was worth promoting, because it's so friendly, so accessible, so much fun.
The ICO level, if you've not seen the ICO level, just go and download it. It's just phenomenal and it just bodes really well for what's going to come. I think this is going to be a game that is just going to keep delivering awesome stuff for a very, very long time.
What I think that's not said about Little Big Planet often enough is what a good multiplayer game it is. In terms of 4 guys sitting with pads in a room, having fun. It's absolutely awesome. It doesn't have to be competitive and it doesn't really have to be cooperative either. You can just play it and have fun together and there just aren't enough games like that.
So congratulations to Media Molecule, creator of Eurogamer's top game of 2008. Thanks for watching and we wish you a very happy new year.
It's an absolute travesty of a steaming, rotten, cadaverous, just disgrace of a game, and I never ever want to see it again.